See the Albert app or Albert.com for subscription pricing. Subscriptions can be canceled at any time.
Carly, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money. Have you tried the Albert app? You can get up to a $1,000 advance fast to pay for car repairs, bills, rent, groceries, whatever you need. Plus, Albert can help you find ways to save and give you a custom budget to actually grow your money. Albert can get you up to $1,000? Exactly. But they do more than get you up to $1,000. Albert is your financial assistant, helping you budget, save, and spotting you money in a pinch. I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code START to get up to $1,000 for your bills, rent, groceries, and more. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code START to get up to $1,000. Use code START to get up to $1,000.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets.
Up over the rumble, guys.
Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this information, call the relief hotline at 800-515-8832. 800-515-8832.
Just sign some of the paperwork for the bar. Nothing's done yet, but we're on our way to being done.
And ever thought about possibly selling it? The Facility Services Group.
Got to go grab some equipment from Green Springs and then come back.
All of the following fields, including fire and life.
I got to have it ready for them on Monday. So
plumbing, electrical, access control, security.
It's wet. It's not that slippery. It's not that cold yet. It's 39 still.
And property management. If your business has annual revenues of at least $5 million, you could potentially sell for 8 to 15 times your annual net earnings. Our experts will help guide you through the process of selling your business.
We're not Black Ice Range yet.
And for the best possible price. Call Carnegie Point now to get your free company financial analysis along with our expert opinion on what your business is potentially worth at 800-898-4104. That's 800-898-4104. Or visit CarnegiePoint.com.
Individual freedom, the right to bear arms. We are Sexy Patriots.
Channel 105.
Conservative principles live here. From his mouth to your ears, it's Brian Kilmeade.
Hey, we are back, everybody. Just crazy intense time. We just had the ambassador to the United Nations, Michael Waltz, defending our operation that scooped Maduro out of his bed and put him in Brooklyn jail. And he was just he's now in a Manhattan courtroom. And now you have people like Russia, China, and some Central America and Iran condemning these actions. Brad Meltzer, author of The Viper, a brand new book. It's out. Is it? It's out on tomorrow?
Hey, yeah, we're out.
Wait, you're out on a Monday?
Well, you can look. Some bookstores will sell Monday. Barnes and Noble will sell Monday. Amazon will sell.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, the Viper is officially.
Yeah, I want to talk about that too. But in terms of fast-moving world events, I mean, this is fast-moving. And a guy that you know well, First 41 HW.
Fuck. I just realized they didn't switch it over to the right fucking.
People were equating it to the Panama operation, and they just said Noriega's got to go, and he went. It took 10 days. We lost 23 guys. We needed 25,000. So
let me fix it. I'll switch it over to the right screen.
You know, what I equate, and I think it's the right question, right? Where in history are we right now? Tell me what it is. So we had Noriega, we had Saddam Hussein, and the fear, of course, is if you look historically, you break it, you bought it. And I think the one thing I think, and no politics about it, is people listen. If it all goes right, then great.
Yeah.
Hallelujah, that's wonderful. He's clearly a bad guy. He's a bad dude. But this does not usually go well when we go into other countries, and obviously you have Trump is saying
the right one.
We're gonna run Venezuela now. I don't want want to run Venezuela. We can barely run America. Like, I don't want to be running another country.
No,
That's
I
the
didn't.
opposite of what everyone wanted.
Now it's fixed.
Hopefully, cooler heads will prevail, because I do not want to be running another country that has historically been a bad thing for America.
Right. So another thing is, if you wanted to run the country, you don't leave the Interior Secretary who's been indicted, the Defense Minister who's been indicted, the Vice President who people say is a barracuda. We'll see. Here's Bill Barr. He was there, and he's there again. He was there in 2020 when he actually drew up the indictment at 32.
Yeah, I have great confidence he'll ultimately be convicted, and all the legal arguments that have been raised really were raised during the prosecution of Noriega, which was a very parallel situation.
Which you also oversaw.
Right. And I think they will be rejected.
Jacob.
He will be convicted, and I think he's looking at sentences similar to, if not bigger than, Noriega's sentence. He's committed far more crimes in my mind than Noriega did, and Noriega got a 40-year sentence, which was reduced to 30, but then he also served time in France and then later in Panama, where he died.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the conviction. We're going to get a conviction, right? One of my dear friends at the Cali cartel, right? We're good at that. That's not the issue. The issue is what do we do with the country now? That's the issue. Again, I think Barr is exactly right. It's going to be a conviction. But the question is what are we now holding? And that, to me, is the question we all as Americans have to be asking.
And the question is, if you have a country in your backyard that has Iran, Russia, China, Hezbollah, with huge portions of their country where they occupy. Iran was bragging last year, we're in your backyard. So if you go out and you try to get rid of a guy that wouldn't...
Yeah, I forgot. I had it going on the username instead of the channel at first. I had to switch it over, make it available.
Terrorists in your backyard is certainly attractive.
Listen, that you just described the most viral clip that has gone around the internet, and I'm sure you've seen it. I know I've seen it because it's been all over my Instagram feed, is the Jack Ryan clip with John Krasinski from the Tom Clancy show.
In fact, you want to play it? Do you have that clip? Let's listen.
Oh, we got it.
What would you assume is the most major threat on the world stage? Anybody, just call it out. You don't have to raise your hand.
Definitely Russia.
Definitely Russia. That's confident. I like it. Who says Russia? Anybody agree with it? Yeah. Okay. Good. Who else? China. Stop yelling at me, but China is a good answer. Anybody? Who else is China?
North Korea.
North Korea. Any North Korea takers? And Venezuela? Anybody? No? Oh, yeah. One guy in the back. We're worried about Venezuela. Everybody's cool with Venezuela? No threat? Okay. Let me ask you this. Which one of these places can claim to have the largest oil deposit on the planet? More than Saudi? More than Iran? Wow. Okay, what about things like gold? More than all the mines in Africa combined? The fact is that Venezuela is arguably the single greatest resource of oil and minerals on the planet. So, why is this country in the midst of one of the greatest humanitarian crises in modern history?
No, he's cutting them off. Love it.
And the end of that clip says it's also the closest to launch nuclear weapons. And that clip on a fictional property made by a fictional person is the number one thing that's trending around where people are getting their information from.
Well, I used to be his username.
But there are facts within those statements.
There are, and I've been obsessed with the comments. If you look at the comments of that clip, half the people are like, this is propaganda put into our entertainment to set us up for today. And the other half is, oh, that's absolutely right. Right. And it, again, same thing that we see in reality, right? It's two sides of America trying to fight their thing. I think historically, the other thing that's embedded in that clip is, what do we do now? What happens now to Venezuela? And especially as you and I have been talking, is, now Russia's demanding that, hey, we want it freed, and there's going to be a parlor game going on right now because you can't go into those places and not have Russia and China say, wait a minute, what do we get now?
They got their hands full right now.
Oh, everybody's got their hands full. We got our hands full right now, right? We think there's no victory.
Yeah, the wife's just getting over it herself. She had it pretty bad yesterday. She spent all day yesterday in bed, but she's up and about today. So
I think a lot of people elected
that's a good
Trump
thing.
because they were like, get us out of these active wars. And as someone who spent a lot of time in Dover Air Force Base, a lot of time, dealing with our fallen troops, a lot of time watching what the results are, it's not today.
But you also got to like to solve problems. And this has been a problem for 25 years.
Yeah, but I also think if this was about solving problems, then don't pardon the other guy who was a drug dealer. If your goal is I'm going to get drug dealers, then don't let go of the other one.
Right.
It's not about a drug dealer to me. This is about another. It's a bigger game, but big games that are played on foreign land. When we remove people again, and it goes bad, dude. Make no mistake.
Part of the border problem is them. Part of the drug problem is them. Part of the gang problem is them. They're actually working in America, sending money back to Maduro, who is giving China 85% of their oil for a discount. How is China able to sustain itself? Well, part of the reason could be that they get this discounted oil from Russia, and they get the discounted oil from Venezuela.
Yeah, no doubt about that. The question is,
Hey, boss lady. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
when you ask the average
You're
American,
getting these fucking people.
we want to be running another country, I'll wager good money that the average American, Democrat, Republican, anything in between, says, I don't want to be.
Get over it. Oh, fucking, you don't know how to fucking enter a fucking road. It's obvious. These are fucking stupid
And we always
stickers.
will, but we have so far been, again, right here looking at America, and suddenly everyone woke up on Saturday, you and I.
Hey, Roy. Yeah, I'm going to try and be safe.
Going, oh my gosh, this is some action like we haven't seen.
But we've seen the buildup. They actually said the CIA is on the ground.
No, CIA was the reason we got in is because CIA was in there, right? That's how we found them, because we had a CIA guy that was in there giving us information. So we have people everywhere. Name a country.
No, we said we're moving in, and we put 15,000 troops on ships in the area. But I want to talk about the Viper. Tell me about the Viper.
Yeah, the Viper, again, built in reality. A man walks into a funeral home carrying his favorite blue suit. He's got a terminal disease, and this is the suit he wants to be buried in. But here's the thing. If you go into your local bank and you open up a safety deposit box, paperwork is filed.
What are you doing, dude?
Same thing, you go to the UPS store and you open up a PO box. But if you secretly sew something into the lining of your suit and you hand that suit to your local mortician, you have the ultimate untraceable hiding spot. And the man then goes back to his hotel room. There's a guy with a gun who says,
Christ.
He said, I don't know what you're talking about. And the guy shoots him dead. The man's now dead. His suit is in the funeral home. You won't believe what's hidden in that suit or who's about to find it. And that's chapter 1 of the Viper. And I base it all on obviously something that can turn pages, but it's a thriller, like Tom Clancy, like those books we all love.
Puppy chow.
But it's built in the reality of Dover Air Force Base and our military troops and what goes on in that incredible top secret funeral home that no one gets access to, but I've been lucky enough to have access to.
We buy the Kirkland puppy food. It's much better.
Well, what I just described to you actually did happen. It was based on reality. I was in a funeral home and saw where they hold all the clothes when people die. If you have no family and you're sick, you pick out what you're going to wear to your funeral. It's a crazy idea. And I said to the mortician, opened up the closet that was under padlock, and I was like, what's in there? And he showed me all the clothes, and I was like, that's a great hiding spot. But the things that I built it around, the reality we'll see in there, is just as an example, where we do a lot with witness protection. You and I were talking about secrets before we got on the air with your previous guest, and one of the things we forget about is how great we are at keeping secrets in America sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I've done the secret tunnels below the White House. I've done the hidden labyrinth below the Capitol. I've even done the secret tunnels below Disney World, but there was nothing like trying to dig into witness protection. Because we all know witness protection is a place that has a bomb, right? We think it's almost around. Yeah. And that's what witness protection was built for, is to hide mobsters so that we can prosecute them. In the same way we're prosecuting Maduro right now, you can be someone on the inside who's going to testify again. I promise you that we'll have some Venezuelans that are going to be behind it. And eventually, guess what happened? It worked.
You don't like Rumble? Why?
The mob started to disappear, but crime doesn't stop. Same thing we're going to see now. It never stops. So guess who took
True free speech.
Gangs. So gang members then became the number one group of witness protection.
Yeah, the app is pretty cool.
Started chasing terrorists. Terrorists became the number one group of witness protection. One of O'Brien, one of the number one.
They're going to have shorts pretty soon too.
Because we live in all the data.
say whatever you want on Rumble. You can play whatever, just about whatever you want. As long as it ain't against the law, you can do it.
Wow, so this to me was perfect for me.
Their terms of service line up with law.
But you know, the thing that the most moving part to me was watching these morticians at Dover Air Force Base. We all know Dover, and if you don't know it by name, it's where we just saw recently President Trump was there when that flag covered coffin came, service members came home.
Yeah, you serious?
Exactly. And those morticians there, Dover's a place where it's not just our fallen service members, but it's when the space shuttle exploded, the astronauts, their bodies went to Dover. It's when 9/11 happened, all the Pentagon victims went to Dover. And it's also where all of our spies in Venezuela, anyone that gets hurt, anyone that gets killed there, their bodies go to Dover too.
Jesus, that dude's
and
flying.
Dover's a place of open secrets. And morticians there will spend 12 hours rewiring someone's jaw, smoothing it over with clay, because a mother says, I want to see my son one last time as home. Rebuilding someone's hand from scratch, because they say, I heard this show. And these are the best of the best. Working on the best of us. And almost nobody gets in there. I've had unprecedented access, and you'll see when you read the Viper, Dover is just such an incredibly inspiring place. And right now, and this is important, especially as we talk about Venezuela, if you want to know, since 9/11, we always think about combat deaths for our troops. But do you know that suicide, you are 4 times more like the military since 9/11 to die by suicide than during combat? That means for over 30,000 members of the military, that's as far as they can run. And the reason why we can talk about it is that's the best thing we can do for our troops, is to make sure they know that there are resources out there. If they're
I like a lot better than you do.
For me personally, this is just my take on things. When I see something like this in Venezuela, yes, we think immediately of the foreign policy and the domestic policy, but I think of Dover, and I think of when we get involved in these places, Dover starts filling up, and not in a good way, and it starts getting to be a busy place. Right now, Dover has been, thankfully, a pretty quiet place to work, and I'm worried that it won't be soon.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It's gotten really quiet since Joe Biden brilliantly and being sarcastic got out of Afghanistan and probably ended his presidency. So this is the 3rd book in a series.
Yeah, but you can start with this one here. In fact, the quote on the front says a perfect place to meet Zig and Nola. It's like, it's like, and one of the heroes of it is a mortician there. My character Zig, who believes if you're a good person, you put good into the world becomes a better place. And I based them on the beliefs of some real morticians who were there, a real Zig, and found a character named Nola who's like my girl with the dragon tattoo. So if you love those books.
Great. So stick around. Brad Meltzer's going to be here. His book is out today. If you know people at Barnes & Noble, you'll get it. Tomorrow it's officially out. It's called The Viper, or you can order it and have it delivered to your house, or download the ebook, which I do. Back to you.
Both sides, all opinions. It's Brian Kilmeade.
Heated seats, open roads, and music handpicked to get the whole crew hyped to hit the slopes. With Road Trip Radio's Ski Trip Mixtape, the drive up might just be the best part. The Ski Trip Mixtape from Road Trip Radio, Channel 301, and on the SiriusXM app. Tap in now and search Ski.
Coverage varies by plan. View contract and exclusions at insurancewarranty.com. Do you own a 2005 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire, or no warranty coverage at all? With the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering a low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save you thousands off costly vehicle repairs. Get your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage are included. For your free quote, call 800-290-1583. 800-290-1583. Do I choose the Sleep Number Smart Bed?
Can I make my site soft too?
Can I make my site?
I don't think you ever really know, depending on what cycle it is. You just never know.
And let you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep
I just go with the flow anymore as far as weather goes.
Customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in store and online. And now, the more you buy, the more you save.
Try not to schedule anything important outside ever.
Check it out at the Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
You just never know.
You worked hard for your money. Now let it work hard for you. RJM Group and Company has been helping families grow their wealth for over 30 years. Right here in South Florida. Imagine an investment as steady as a CD account, but earning returns from 7% to 20% guaranteed every month or every year. With contracts from 1 to 5 years,
Big
RJM
Lexus.
puts you in control. No gambling, no guessing. Just smart, secure growth backed by real
That's
estate
interesting.
expertise you can trust. If you've been waiting for the right way to invest, call RJM Group and Company now at 1-888-775-3002. That's 1-888-775-3002. That's 1-888-775-3002. RJM Group. Trusted, proven, built for your future.
Individual results may vary. There's no guarantee in advance performance will be indicative of future results. Invest wisely. Results may vary and are not guaranteed. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Text and data rates may apply. Are you worried about how much you're drinking? Is alcohol affecting your health, your work, your relationships? You don't have to go to extremes to get help. Choose Your Horizon is a discreet, doctor-backed online program developed by a Mayo Clinic trained psychiatrist and designed to help reduce your drinking or stop completely. At Choose Your Horizon, our programs have helped over 20,000 people across the U.S. We deliver FDA-approved medication right to your door. It's easy to take any time of day. And if you're just looking to cut back, many people still choose to drink while on our programs. Let us help you get to the root causes of your drinking. No rehab, no judgment. Most patients see meaningful improvement in just weeks. Same-day consultations, at-home liver testing available, and medication delivered discreetly in a couple of days. To get 50% off your same-day doctor consultation, text FRESH to 54504. Again, text FRESH to 54504. Text FRESH to 54504. Hey, Drew, the two biggest compliments I get on this program are you found this program and you spent some time listening to it.
Yeah, right now I'm just going to pick up a phone and laptop.
Or Andrew Winkow and the Winkow Majority. Weekdays, 2 to 3 p.m. on Sirius XM Patriot 125. That's one of the greatest compliments I can get. Show that's real. This is the Brian Kilmeade Show. So Brad Meltzer's with us, author of The Viper. We're watching a few different stories. The Viper comes out, you can get it today, but really officially comes out tomorrow. And Brad, we're following a few stories. Number one, what happened with Maduro's going to be he's going to be seen in court shortly. It was pretty amazing to see him taken out of a Brooklyn prison with where Luigi Mangione was and P. Diddy was.
You know, and
Went to a soccer field and then choppered into Manhattan.
And you know where it was choppered from is Stewart, what used to be an Air Force base, but Stewart Airport, upstate New York.
Yeah.
And that's where the hostages came back in Iran back during Reagan era. That's where they were actually brought back when they were freed from Iran. They came there, this little tiny airport that is now you couldn't find a cab there if you wanted, in the middle of nowhere. And that's where they brought him to. And I'm like the fact that he's stepping into places where the hostages were, like you said, where Diddy was, it's an unbelievable story.
Yeah, and with his wife. And he had a bunch of off-ramps. The conversations were low. Turkey will take you. Moscow will take you. UAE, I think, would have taken him. And now the message is you didn't take the off-ramp. Now you're going to go the Noriega way. 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Also, Governor Walz in about 15 minutes will officially withdraw from running for a third term.
This is definitely a rerun.
I think that the scandal, which is
This is like last Monday.
They say as much as $9 billion. It's even bigger than that. And he decides, I'm going to withdraw, blaming Trump. How Trump is to blame for $9 billion worth of fraud that dates back to 2018, I'm not sure.
Is he running for president? Is that why he's
He's governor of third term,
Right, he was
and then probably runs for president.
Run for president. I don't know the story. I actually don't know that story very well. What I do know is watching Maduro through the court is gonna. If you thought that Diddy was a circus, just wait. Like, because we were going through, I mean, even when we were doing when Noriega happened, I'm someone who lives in Florida. I have friends who have done a lot lot of these prosecutions, all these high drug cases, they bring a cast of characters like you've never seen. Because the only people who can testify against him who are seeing his craziest stuff.
So kill me?
See on the TVs that are.
No, it's the weekend. They do replays on the weekend.
Right? It's one, because we have a lot of Venezuelans there, of course. But two is no one has drug rates like this. And they're going to try.
When does,
and you're going to see, when you do these trials, I called my buddy who prosecuted Cali Cartel and and the people that you have to interview when you're doing this are, it's going to be a cast of characters. I wish it was Miami. It's going to be, it's going to be here. Now it's your problem. I know, not my problem. Remember the Blank Shake and everybody else that's been prosecuted here? They were going to do KSM here. But in the Viper, which makes you proudest of this book out of everything you've done? When do you walk away and you go, wow, this is what I'm really glad to see unwind in the print? Yeah, so there's a quote, I'd love you for asking that, such a thoughtful question. There's a quote in the beginning that says, I don't believe in closure. I'm not sure we ever get over anything. By a very great military writer. And I love the fact that this book proves that sometimes you don't need closure's overrated. Yeah. Love yourself for who you are, accept your family for who they are, and you know, that's to me how you make America to be the best we can be. His name is Brad Meltzer. The name of the book is The Viper. Go get it, Brad. Great to see you. Always.
We, the people of the United States, history in American history.
January 7th, 1789, the first U.S. presidential election is held, beginning the process that will select George Washington as the nation's first leader.
And on January 8th, 1790,
George
Washington delivers the first State of the Union address to Congress. Counting down to America 250. Only on Sirius 125.
The Internet, a place where your curiosity can flourish, unless malware gets in the way. It's a place that can surprise you with phishing websites and trackers. The Internet is wonderful, but you must protect yourself online. Protect yourself online with NordVPN. Check Radar named
later games on Prime.
in 2025.
Chicago Green Bay is on Prime later.
Secures up to 10 devices. What else? This cybersecurity tool also encrypts your browsing. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro feature helps you block malware, avoid phishing, and stop digital trackers. NordVPN scans the dark web to check that the information associated with your email address is not exposed. Just a few clicks and you're safer online.
Yeah.
Browse with more peace of mind. Get the
Hello.
best deal at NordVPN.com.
A business startup during political strife, when the SBA shuts down at least once, maybe twice. They're threatening to shut it down again the end of this month.
With no harsh additives. Take back control of your eczema with affordable, fast-acting Exeter Flare Control Cream. Exeter, it's in the first aid aisle of your local Walmart.
All these fake child care centers and everything have gone through the SBA, so now they're scrutinizing everything big time. Hey, baby.
There is a new warning for protesters in Iran, recent wire reports. The world's Attorney General is warning that anyone taking part in anti-government protests will be considered an enemy of God, a charge that in Iran is punishable with the death penalty, despite Iran cutting the nation off from the
Internet. Oh, they cut them off. Big Iran just got them cut off. That's crazy. Fuck yeah.
The making of the video. I can tell it's
Is going to happen.
happen all over the world, and that's what we're seeing. You've seen it in Italy, you've seen it in Chile, you've seen it in Argentina. There's no reason that Venezuela and these South American countries can't be rich again.
Moves fast. Staying sharp, focused, and clear-headed isn't always easy. That's why the same company that brings you Relief Factor has developed something brand new, Think Factor. Think Factor is made to help you think clearer and perform better daily. It's a powerful blend of nutrients that unlocks mental clarity and precision, nurtures your memory, boosts your attention. With Think Factor, brain power and performance finally meet for lasting daily results. Supercharge your memory, mental sharpness. Your brain is your most valuable.
Well,
Powering your creativity, focus, and daily performance. You're feeling mentally foggy?
I was just telling them that you weren't feeling well yesterday or the day before. Finally feeling a bit better today.
The longer you take Think Factor, the better it works for you. You never thought
Daisy's
you wanted to be
been
more
crappy too.
focused? Call 800-4-RELIEF. 800, the number 4-RELIEF, or visit relieffactor.com to learn more and order Think Factor. Your first bottle is just $19.95. Think Factor. Think clearer, perform better daily. Call 800-4-RELIEF or visit relieffactor.com for Think Factor.
There's a record-breaking comic book sale. A rare copy of the comic book that introduced the world to Superman has sold for millions. The comic book copy that was once stolen from the home of actor Nicolas Cage has been sold in a private deal for a record-breaking $15 million. That eclipses the previous record set last November when a copy of Superman #1 was sold at an auction for $9.12 million. The Action Comics #1 sale was negotiated by Manhattan-based Metropolis Collectibles Comic Connect. The comic sold for 10 cents when it came out in 1938 and marks the beginning of the superhero genre. I'm Hayati Joy.
Wow.
General Motors
10-cent comic selling for $15 million
in its fourth quarter after sales of electric vehicles sputtered when the U.S. cut tax incentives to buy them and also eased auto emissions standards. The new charges follow an announcement in October that the Detroit automaker would take a $1.6 million charge for the same reason. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com.
Johnny's on his couch. It's almost game time. He's fiddling with the remote.
Well, to be honest, I've been keeping my distance from the boss lady since she's been sick. Last thing I need to do is get sick as well. We can't both be sick at the same time. Then our fur babies don't get taken care of. Hey, Sid, come on over to Rumble, bud.
Chuck McDowell here with Wesley Financial Group. My 78-year-old friend Linda called me yesterday. She bought a $40,000 timeshare in Nashville. She was told it was a great investment and that he would personally book all her vacations, all lines. She called her sales rep, Chris, the next morning at 4:57 a.m. to cancel, and she was told it was too late. You had your chance yesterday. Another lie. She has 10 days in Tennessee. I am in a war with the timeshare industry because people keep buying their lives. And they don't want me to help you. If you need a timeshare, I'm sure one of the 3,500 people that come on this week, they would love to give you one of theirs. Go online and pay $1 for it, but stop paying $40,000 for lives. It's time to stop the insanity. Don't wait another day. Call Wesley now for your free timeshare and ticket. 800-316-5454. That's 800-316-5454.
Oh, and they gobble a lot. And I spent another $150 yesterday on food for mostly them. In fact, I got to make sure that I give the wifey my receipts so she can scan them. Ooh, a Ranger Raptor. I'll let it pass me. Oh, it's coming over. Look at this. That's sweet. Ranger Raptor.
So there's a lot happening today. We know the President of the United States just gave a 2-hour interview to the New York Times, of all people. At one point, the media members of the media That's we saying to themselves, we're never going to have this access again. We were hearing about President Trump taking calls at 4:30 in the morning from the Washington Post. Then we're hearing about Jake Tapper and Kristen Welker of Meet the Press being able to contact the president. Do you understand? For 4 years, we never heard from the president. Let's get to the big three. Number three.
As you've seen today, 2 more ships were seized. We are in the midst right now and, in fact, about to execute on a deal to take all the oil. They have oil that is stuck in Venezuela. They can't move it because of our quarantine and because it's sanctioned. We are going to take between 30 and 50 million barrels of oil.
Trump's boldness is happening in the best way to lead the world to peace and prosperity. Just look at his recent actions.
8357
Muscle on display as they ignore a Russian warning and take a tanker as they claim as theirs. The Russians were wrong about that. Sign on to sanctions for Russia and their actions in Ukraine. Bipartisan sanctions will be taking place next week and forging ahead on Greenland. A hawkish Iran has been now on the run and on the lam. They're trying to go after us, and our president is not backing down. This is quite a list.
Number 10. The president's about to make some really big announcements. And what we're going to do is we want to preserve the wealth that a lot of people have accrued in their homes while also making it possible for young people to afford their first home.
Trump team makes some major moves on housing and the economy. The market didn't like it, but I do. Number 1. A motorist who federal officials said tried to run down an immigration agent in Minneapolis is dead tonight. He was shot by the ICE agent. The FBI and state law enforcement are investigating. Homeland Security Director Kristi Noem calls it an act of domestic terrorism and says the driver tried to kill the agent. The mayor of Minneapolis says that is, quote, garbage. Minnesota's governor says the tragedy was, quote, totally predictable and totally avoidable. So Minneapolis continues to be a national embarrassment of a city thanks to its leadership. First, we have more facts about the massive fraud under Governor Walz's watch. And now, the harassing of ICE agents day after day, week after week, has resulted in the death of a 37-year-old woman. And they're blaming ICE. With us right now is Griff, spends a lot of time with law enforcement, border patrol, who go into these cities in sanctuary situations. And we know, Griff, this woman, 37 years old, we don't really know much about her except for, according to ICE, she was leading a lot of the harassment. Her car, her pilot, her SUV pilot was one blocking the road. You could see in this video that the officer was roll down your window and pull over.
Raptorville here.
He rolled it up and went forward at another cop who opened fire through the windshield. So we're going to debate this back and forth, but it's amazing how many officials have already made their conclusions.
And that's an important point, Brian, because literally we should be dealing in facts, not F-bombs, as the mayor, Jacob Fry, likes to do, because an investigation is underway, and yet he is jumping right out in front of that, saying that this is BS, that the officer was acting in self-defense. Let's back up for the big context and just say, first of all, ICE has the right to be there, carrying out federal immigration law enforcement in a sanctuary jurisdiction, which doesn't cooperate with feds. That's why they're there. Now, as for this woman, you cannot, it is against the law to impede or obstruct a federal immigration law enforcement investigation or operation. She's got her car as a, quote, legal observer, which she should be in the middle of it, but she is blocking the ICE vehicle. That's what leads to the second part, which is the ICE officers trying to get her out of the car to arrest her, to which she does not comply. She's now done what appears on this video, 2 things wrong in impeding and obstructing an investigation. And then the third thing, the key one, she speeds off rather than stop and get out of the car, and obviously strikes or directly threatens the officer. He fires shots. And I think, Jonathan Turley, who was on with us a little bit earlier, talked about, while we have an investigation based on the video we see now, he thinks that it does seem to add up to the officer's self-defense claims.
They have I don't know if they have the Raptor version, but they have what they call Lobo version. Lobo. Lobo. Which is like a Raptor. It's basically all tricked out. They may have the Raptor too. I don't know. But I've seen they had a Lobo at the dealership where I got this, man. But that's another fucking almost 20 grand. I ain't paying 50 grand for a fucking Maverick.
To get out of the car and in fact sped up towards the agent. So for all of that, We have to look at the remaining evidence. There's still video I'd like to see. An investigation has to be completed. But as it stands now,
It's pretty. I'll admit.
stronger and stronger case supporting the officer.
Yeah, it's all leather seats and stuff, and it's all tricked out. But
This is a case that's still up in the air. But listen to Mayor Jacob Fry. Remember how he screwed up the George Floyd riots? Remember him taking a knee?
bigger tires, bigger suspension.
Allowing the police station to be taken over. Cut 7. And I have a message for us.
I don't know. I think it was like 46, actually. Maybe about 10,000 more.
We do not want you here. Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite. People are being hurt.
I don't think they even have the hybrid version of it.
What a clown this guy is. It's his sanctuary policies that made it where the ICE officials have to come in and round up the criminals and illegals in his city, which he's perfectly fine with giving them social services.
Yeah, I'd buy one with all the basic shit. Oh, yeah.
Every time a call doesn't go your way, every time a game doesn't go the way you want it, losing your mind. You'd have the job for a week. Instead, this guy keeps his job, Griff, and gets it and wins elections. And here's a little secret, Mayor Fry. ICE would be happy to leave your city if you would cooperate with federal immigration, law enforcement, ICE detainers, which simply would peacefully transfer those violent, illegal criminal aliens over to federal custody. They choose not to. That's why ICE is there. But to your point, look, at the end of the day, this is a tinderbox of a situation even before this shooting. Why? Because
I don't think I've ever bought a new vehicle for less than 15.
like Governor Walz with this.
That was a Ranger back in like 1990,
calling ICE
92, 93.
Nazis and making them the target, putting targets on their back. So much so that, by the way, look at the data. There have been 99 vehicle assaults this year on ICE officials, and that is more than double what it was for the. I don't even know one person in my life, tangentially, even acquaintances, that when asked to pull over by a cop, wouldn't pull over. When asked to roll down your window, wouldn't roll down your window. Who would either go forward into a cop or look to pull away, unless, of course, they're drunk or on drugs, which, thankfully, I don't have many of them. Do you? Most people out there don't know anyone that would do that. So listen to Jacob Fry, who gets booked, of course, on CNN, who always goes anti-officer. As an MSNBC, who cares? But you just expect it. So you think if he's somewhat contrite, say, oh, I lost my temper. Instead, this, cut 8.
I'm so sorry if I offended their Disney princess ears, but here's the thing. If we're talking about what's inflammatory, on the one hand, you got someone who dropped an F.
Yeah, I've seen them. I've seen pictures of them. I don't know if they were Thai. I thought they were.
Killing somebody. I think the more inflammatory action is killing somebody. And so, once again,
the analogy is not even correct. You're talking about the response to a high stress.
I think they don't meet U.S. standards as far as emissions and safety.
You can go back to the shootings in Dallas of ICE officers, how they've been targeted elsewhere and doxxed, and their families doxxed throughout the country. Why? Because of people like Pritzker, people like Gavin Newsom, like the idiot mayor in Chicago, and the clown of a character in Jacob Fry in Minneapolis, and now Mayor Mamdani in New York City, who quickly put out on Twitter, murder. And to your point, Brian, it is going to be the totality of circumstances that go into determining whether or not that officer was justified in using.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Ultimately, what Jonathan Turley was also telling us this morning was that when you look at what's available in video and you consider the totality of circumstances, blocking, not getting out, then speeding towards an officer, it is likely that under the precedent of the 1985 Supreme Court case, Tennessee versus Gardner, that this officer was justified. Now, what did that case do? That case basically is the precedent for which we changed the way you deal with fleeing suspects. That case said that the officer cannot simply fire and use deadly force on someone that is trying to evade a situation just based on that. However, that led all of our police departments and law enforcement agencies across the country to have a much more strict, rigid standard for the use of deadly force. And if indeed there is
the immediacy of a deadly threat, then they are justified under that. So I really clarified that situation. And the fact that Paul Moore told us that the officer shot through the windshield, not in the side window, that suggests the car was directly at the mayor. There came out, the mayor of Montana came out and said, ICE Nation murdered a woman in Minneapolis. Eric Swalwell, this is murder. Elon Omar, this is not law enforcement, it is state violence. It is simply indefensible, and ICE must be held accountable. That must include a full, comprehensive investigation. Does anyone listen to her at all for anything? She should be defending how she got a visa, and I don't think she's able to do that. The big story yesterday was fraud. Fraud that's been exposed and happening over the course of maybe beyond the 4 Waltz, but certainly through Waltz's tenure, which has lasted 8 years. Here's a listen of what you might have missed yesterday because you have a job, or some of the coverage got smothered by the shooting, Cut 19.
The Tim Walz administration has utterly failed to protect Minnesota taxpayers and vulnerable citizens, ignoring years of credible reports and retaliating against those who spoke up, often by claiming they were racist or Islamophobic. Tim Walz and the Democrats have repeatedly protected their political base at the expense of all Minnesotans.
When do you think Governor Walz knew about this fraud?
From the very beginning.
Do you have any doubt that Governor Tim Walz knew about this fraud as it was occurring?
He absolutely knew that it was occurring.
Yeah, he obviously knew about it and either decided to look the other way or didn't do anything because the prosecutions so far have been at the federal level, not the state level. Now, in the hindsight of all of this...
Yeah, I'm just grabbing stuff and leaving, though, so we'll stay live. I'll leave you guys live while I run in.
Years ago, when he knew this was happening, dating back 5 years, by the way, did you see the Leering Center's doors are now shuttered? So, Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley, a member of the squad, an embarrassment to the country, decides she's not going to ask any real questions. Cut 25. Raise your hand if you oppose the pardon of George Santos.
Not playing this game.
It's not a game. It's real life. That means that you support this pardon of this corporation that frauded folks to the tune of $100 million. Yesterday, reclaiming my time. You know the rules of committee. This is my time. Do not speak up for me. Reclaiming my time. You are not Mr. Chair.
That's what I do.
You are not in order with the rules of the committee. This is my time. This is my time.
And that is Walter Hudson, African-American, Republican, Minnesota State Representative, who has come forward with specific facts, but she didn't want to hear it. To us about George Santos or Donald Trump and a pardon with a Honduras leader, just a joke. And what's really crazy is, as you know, a politician.
Yeah, it is nice building.
She's not Minnesota. Ilhan Omar, by the way, is. She should be leading here and saying, you know what, we are totally against fraud, and you know what, if Governor Walz did this, we're going to hold him accountable as well, because at the end of the day, fraud is taxpayer money, and it doesn't matter what political stripe, who you voted for in the last presidential election. Every resident of every state where fraud is rampant and widespread, you would think every politician would be bipartisan to go after those frauds and put criminals behind bars. Instead, what happened in Minnesota? They were ignored, and whistleblowers, by the way, were prosecuted and bullied, if you will, as opposed to those that actually committed the fraud. So Hudson came out along with Kristen Robbins, Walter Hudson, as I mentioned, Marion Rarick, along with Brendan Ballou, a former prosecutor for the Justice Department who appeared as the Democrats' witness, but he still was pinned to the mat a number of times because this is transparent. It's out there. I mean, to deny it, you can't. So what they do is bring up Trump and corruption and bring up what they don't like, Trump selling watches and things to that nature. One has nothing to do with the other, but it's just a total carnival. They went after one of these guys. Went after Congressman James Comer, and here is them pulling him out. This is Summer Lee, another member of the squad. Cut 24.
Trump has attacked the oversight mechanisms within the federal government. He illegally fires 17 inspectors general and other key personnel. He goes after whistleblowers and he tries to roll back their protections. He routinely ignores the rampant corruption within his own administration.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, the IGs
and funeral pyre, too.
They haven't identified fraud. The IGs have.
When they go, light it up with us on it.
We got nothing. You have the gas.
Fire an arrow onto it, light it up.
You have power here, and yet you don't do anything. 4 witnesses, and these guys fight. Unbelievable. And by the way, we talked this morning, Brian, you and I, about the fact that it's not just Minnesota, it's nationwide. In California, you're next. And Ohio's got a huge thing. This Republican-run state, and it's a mess. And a lot of it revolves around the Somali community. So if you are, I like Ro Khanna. Ro Khanna's running for president, clearly. And he's like, I'm going to crack down, bipartisan way, on fraud. Why are these people afraid to admit there was fraud in Minnesota? It's not on you, it's on them. Why not look into it and be responsible? It's crazy. It's a bad luck. It suggests they don't care about accountability. All right, Griff, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Are you in tomorrow? I'm with you tomorrow. All right, that sounds great. And of course, you got the weekend from 6 to 10, Saturday and Sunday. You got it. All right.
So it'd be a log meat haul.
Time out and come back with Jillian Michaels, celebrity fitness trainer. More important.
Although the earthen ones have better insulation. They're just harder to maintain. Let's get a good fire going in the big log one. You're good. I'm going to do a quick walk around the outside of the building here too, see if they've done any of the construction work I was looking for.
Remixes that define generation. Utopia. A channel pulsing with 90s rave classics and iconic 2000s club anthems. Utopia. Channel 341 or at home
Utopia.
on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, or other internet-connected devices.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous
look up this
mistakes?
code real quick.
If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-269-6413. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy.
Be right back.
Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-269-6413. 800-269-6413 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-269-6413 or biglou.com. That's 800-269-6413 or biglou.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real
It's locked.
cash back with Upside just by buying gas
call
you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up. I've already made $200-$300. You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside. I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PROMO25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal.
Thank you for calling Legends Recovery Centers. Press 1 to get connected to admission. Press 2 for the Green Springs Mail Tech Desk. For quality assurance, this call may be recorded.
One ring and nothing? That's good to know. Really?
Thank you for calling Legends Recovery Centers. Press 1 to get connected to admissions. Press 2 for the Green Springs Male Tech Desk. Press 3 for the Female Green Springs Tech Desk. Press 4 for quality assurance. This call may be recorded.
The fuck? It's not working.
Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PROMO25 for a 25-cent credit.
The call system's not working. That's something I definitely got to look at.
He's Donald Trump's #1 enemy in Congress, Chicago politician Dick Durbin. Now, Durbin has a new scheme. He's doing the dirty work to benefit corporate megastores. Durbin's bill could cut corners on your credit card security, putting your personal data at risk. Big chain retailers and warehouse stores want to inflate their profits, and liberal Dick Durbin would help them do it. Tell senators, say no to the megastores and Dick Durbin. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Picture this. Power goes out, your cell phone only has a 50% charge. You just went to the grocery store and have a fridge full of food. Oh, and it's the middle of winter. It's freezing. That's right. No fridge, no phone, no heater, just silence, shivering, and all of your groceries slowly spoiling. Well, not this winter. Right now, you can take your freedom back with the Patriot Power Generator 2500X from 4 Patriots. It's solar powered, fume free, and comes fully charged so you can stay powered through hurricanes, blackouts, or whatever life throws your way. And right now, you'll get 2 solar panels absolutely free, instantly doubling your charging speed. Because let's be honest, the power grid is aging. Blackouts are getting longer. No one's fixing it anytime soon. So stop waiting. Take power into your own hands. Visit 4patriots.com now. That's the number 4patriots.com. And claim this deal before it's gone for good. Fed up with stubborn earwax? Get Wax RX from Dr. Easy. Dr. Easy professional ear washers have been used over 40 million times by medical professionals. Now you can get the same results at home with Wax RX, the personal ear wash system. Just like our professional ear washers, Wax RX flushes away stubborn earwax without a trip to the doctor. Don't be fooled by store brands and cheap knockoffs. Pull into a Walgreens or a Walmart right now and get the original doctor-invented Wax RX in the ear care aisle.
In order to preserve the Constitution, we have to think about it. Stacey, Washington. It's our heritage. It was left to us by the founders, and preserving it involves voting, telling the truth, and looking to our neighbors and seeing how we can improve state life and life across the country. I love being able to count myself as one of those individuals.
Well, I guess you could not, but there should be a phone out there. The phones aren't even ringing through, though, so I may actually have to leave this with you guys here.
It's Brian Kilmeade. You guys all know Jillian Michaels. She's got a brand new special out on Fox Nation called Toxic, America's Food Crisis. She hosts it, and it's available right now. Jillian, just come out today?
No, 2 days ago.
So what was it? What do we expect? What can we say?
Well, honestly, you're going to learn some of the same with regard to how toxic our food is here in the country. You're going to learn why, though, and subsequently what you can do about it with small, affordable, accessible steps that will have a huge impact on your overall health.
What I want to do, too, is talk about that food pyramid, which I guess is reversed.
It's a really big deal, actually. People don't understand it. I'll explain it to you, but it directs hundreds of billions of dollars.
Right. And what I love about it, too, and critics think it's bad, I think it's good. They're normally 100 pages. This is 10.
Yeah.
We can understand it. I need bullet points. I'm not a nutritionist.
Well, you don't really need to be. The reason it was 100 pages before is because you're trying to convince people with pseudoscience that refined grains are good for them. Now it's like protein, whole grains, fruits and vegetables. Most people are trying to write about duh, and other people are saying, oh, it's not accessible, and other people are not understanding the facts about saturated fat within the new pyramid and suggesting it's bad for you, but in truth, it can't get 200 calories of saturated fat.
More on that in a moment with Jillian Michaels. Got the special out. Also, we have a food pyramid to talk about as Maha is in action big time.
We, the people of the United States, this week in American history, January 7th, 1789, the first U.S. presidential election is held, beginning the process that would select George Washington as the nation's first leader.
And on January 8th, 1790, George Washington delivers the first State of the Union address to Congress. Counting down to America 250. Only on Sirius XM Dixie 125.
At Body and Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
And I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. He was in great health. It's out of nowhere, had a stroke. And super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. So even after he passed away, he was still able to provide for my mom. And of course, by extension, my brother and I. This is why I have life insurance for my family, my wife, and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com. Because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. 10 minutes. You're covered, your family is covered. You get $2 million in coverage for $2 a day. That's a 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. We don't like to talk about death in our culture, but everyone's going to die. You're going to die. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/Slater. Rates may vary, bill monthly, ethos.com/Slater.
We're constantly making promises to ourselves to live healthier. We're going to exercise more, eat right, and drink right. Well, isn't it time you start thinking about your water? Drinking right starts with Aquasana. Aquasana water filters give you immediate access to cleaner, healthier,
Right.
extraordinary water.
Rocking and rolling now. Charge this picture. All right, we're out of here. Going to meet my business partner for a quick meeting. I'm heading home.
Business. If debt has your business on the brink, call Ray Reynolds, the godfather of credit. For over 40 years, Ray Reynolds has helped thousands of customers get millions in cash credit. It's no wonder why they call Ray the godfather of credit. He may even be able to raise your score above 750 before the end of the year. You could even get a new personal or business credit line up to $50,000 within days. If your credit needs a rebuild, call Ray Reynolds and receive a $1,000
see something real quick.
Raise your credit score to 750 or more. Call Ray Reynolds at 800-938-7286. 800-938-7286. Learn about Ray's secrets to success and how he can fix and improve your credit score to 750 or more. Call the godfather of credit rebuild, Ray Reynolds, at 800-938-7286. 800-938-7286.
Off we go.
Have you ever considered cashing out and selling your company? If so, it could be worth a lot more than you think. If your business has annual revenue,
Let me mute, and you can call me.
you need to call the experts at Carnegie Point. With over 20 years of experience, we
Call me.
specialize in helping business owners like you navigate the process of selling your company smoothly, confidentially, and for the best possible price. Did you know that depending on your industry, you can potentially sell for 5 to over 10 times your annual net earnings? This means that we typically sell our clients' businesses at valuations of $20 million to over $2
Sorry, I forgot I was muted. I'm there yakking with you guys, and I forgot I was muted. Why ain't you fuckers answering me? Well, not really. It's more of a social type meeting. Just getting together with a couple of the partners. Whoa, fucking wind, dude. Damn. It was right at the front, though. It wasn't like a crosswind or anything. It jerked me. I could feel it go against me as I was hitting the gas. She's switching names, so I got a unique chat from another name too. Oh, Wanda? On Rumble? No. Okay, on YouTube. Alright, that's cool. I don't know.
But it's not my job. It's my job to facilitate the ability of these experts to communicate their knowledge to everyday people who are there to learn. And I think what you're going to find is it's not as obvious as it seems. In other words, the system has been rigged against you. Right. What ultra processed foods actually are, what they actually do, how they were created, why they were created, and then subsequently what you can do about it.
So why were they created? One of the reasons is to keep food fresh, to go to the size of our country. No.
Nope. These foods are engineered by teams of multidisciplinary scientists to get you to literally not be capable of eating just one. When they say, bet you can't eat just one, that is not a slogan, that's a business model. It's all about profit. And in the 1980s, Big Tobacco bought Big Food because the Surgeon General was going after cigarettes and it was working and sales were declining. And they took that.
Oh, it was worse yesterday, but it wasn't raining.
And they made all of that process.
Feels like the temperature actually went up a little bit. Yeah, it did actually.
Highly addictive.
It went from 36 earlier to 41 now.
You really can't ever just use willpower because the temptation never ceases. They commandeered the narrative. They told you, this ultra-processed grain is heart healthy. Oh, no, don't worry about being 100 pounds overweight. You can be healthy at any size. It's highly manipulative, very, very deep, and ultimately, this documentary exposes that.
So, what's so interesting now is, in one way, this whole kind of something different. Did you ever? I don't know if you ever could have foreseen something like Ozempic coming out. Well, while you're doing all your fitness things, trying to get people in shape, in comes the shot, where people are losing weight, but they're also losing muscle, and now it's affecting everything. We're eating less, we're drinking less. Even and restaurants are paying the price. The liquor industry is paying the price.
That's really interesting for a host of reasons. So, first of all, if you think about the ways in which Big Food engineers ultra-processed food to be highly addictive, literally they created something called the bliss point, which is this perfect ratio of fat, sugar, and salt that triggers the dopamine pleasure center of your brain. That's just one thing of many, right? But they literally call it the bliss point. The food is blissful, so you can't stop eating. What do these drugs do? They facilitate your ability to stop eating in two ways. Number one, they delay gastric emptying, which means you stay fuller for longer. The food sits in your gut for a longer period of time, which is arguably not healthy, but that's a separate conversation. And the second part is that they act on that pleasure center of your brain. So basically, the food cannot trigger the bliss point, and you're not hungry. So it facilitates your ability to eat less, but it comes at a price, literally and figuratively. It's not cut and dry, I'm afraid.
Understood. So let's talk about the food pyramid. What changed yesterday?
Okay, well, this really goes back to our conversation of the ways in which they've rigged the system. So people think of this graphic and, they may remember it from elementary school. It seems simple. To many, it seems obvious. To some, it seems unattainable. Mm-hmm. But here's the reality. This is not about informing the average American on what they should be eating at all. This is about the funnel of hundreds of billions of dollars. So back in the 70s, when they intended to create this food pyramid, to food assistance, SNAP, Women and Children, or WIC as people know it. So Corn Refiners Association, Wheat Growers of America, Soybean Growers of America got in there, lobbied the USDA. You've got So now what this does is it takes that $600 billion and it funnels it towards healthier foods on the pyramid so that better for you foods are more accessible to our most vulnerable population.
And now people always say is, well, the better food, the whole foods, where a lot of the better stuff is more expensive. They don't even pop up with those high-end supermarkets in working class areas. But I think the RFK is attacking that too, right?
Well, the food pyramid is what feeds our kids in public schools, so that has to be provided. Same to the military. It has to be all the stuff on the food pyramid has to be provided. For SNAP, you got to provide it. That's what the food pyramid says. Same thing, women and children. Now, ultimately, people do need to take agency. Of course, you have to make that choice. You have to engage. You have to be responsible. But it's pretty darn hard to take agency when the system is rigged against you. 74% of Americans are not obese or overweight because they're weak, lazy, or stupid. And it isn't genetics. In the 70s, before all of this happened, only 5% of our adult population was obese or overweight. That's not we have a quantum leap in genetics over the last 50 years. Mm-hmm. So it's about unrigging the system and educating people so they can take informed, powerful actions that will create change.
All right, so 50% of Americans have pre-diabetes or diabetes. 33% of teens suffer from diabetes, pre-diabetes. Wow. 20% of children and adolescents suffer from obesity, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And 18.5% of young adults have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And you would think, well, these kids are just sitting down on their phones and they're overeating. What you're saying is maybe they're not. It's just what they're eating.
They are overeating. Here, okay, so think of it as follows. They're overeating, and this food is designed to make them overeat. Mm-hmm. In addition, the food is calorie dense. Calories are units of energy, right? So what is fat? It's stored energy. It's energy you consumed that you didn't utilize. And the body said, gosh, I have this energy reserve. What do I do with this? Oh, let's shove it in the fat cells. So they're consuming too many calories, which is ultra-processed foods are calorie dense. Mm-hmm. They lack nutrients. They are filled with anti-nutrients, fake fats, fake flavors, preservatives, so on and so forth. So kids are not eating, not just not getting nutrients. They're getting a host of chemicals that can mess up their endocrine system and their metabolism over years. They're getting calorie-dense garbage that begets their desire to eat more of it. Mm-hmm. So it's all bad across the board.
So this one thing, RFK, start eating more meat. So we were told avoid red meat. How do you feel about that?
But he's right. He's right. Now, listen, I don't want to overwhelm people. In other words, you're going to feel like I can't win. And the point here is that, yes, you should be eating grass-fed beef from regenerative soil, which means, they're putting nutrients back in the soil. It's not over-farmed. Because if you think about, okay, well, where are cows getting their nutrients? They're getting...
You don't fucking hit the brakes.
Nutrients. If they're conventionally raised, they've got hormones, antibiotics, a host
fucking
of
idiot.
genetically engineered crops they're being fed. So, look, at the end of the day, going organic, grass-fed, regenerative is going to be the best option. If you can't afford that, and you need like a conventionally raised
fucking idiot,
dude. Regular steak at a restaurant, it's still a heck of a lot better.
Hit the brakes while you're fucking
French
merging.
Fries and pizza and soda, and you can get leaner cuts of that meat,
Right.
because a lot of the stuff that's bad sits in the fat. So it's not about the fat, it's about the stuff that fat would hold in that case.
So Brooke Rollins, the ag secretary, this is what's new. The ag secretary working with the HHS is kind of new. They just kept separate on separate lanes.
Yeah.
Separate lobbyists. Here's what she said yesterday, cut 53.
Recent data show that fruits, vegetables, dairy, and proteins, including eggs, pork, and ground beef, are becoming even more affordable every day for.
Now my insurance app is going to give me a harsh break for that.
Enjoy the most affordable
So that
and
fucking
abundant
idiot.
food in the world.
I'm going to have to say I wasn't
Today's
driving
release
at that
only
point.
reinforces that reality.
Yes.
A healthy meal is within reach for all American families. These new dietary guidelines are a framework which is meant to be customized to meet the needs, the preferences, and the financial status of all American families.
Exactly. So I was able to talk with farmers, went to North Dakota for an event, and they go, hey, do you want to talk to some of the farm community? And they said, yeah. You know, I talked to some of them. I did not know this. We have like a national shortage of cattle.
Yeah.
And it was between the grazing and whatever, and because the de-emphasis on it, and because there's a theory out there that the cattle and the methane gas was destroying the ozone layer. That was behind all this. That's what comes with this impossible burgers and everything.
Right. The rhetoric, the propaganda. You asked, like, how do I feel about people eating red meat? And
New York plates, actually.
Red meat. Absolutely. It's not profitable. Yeah, they're like, what about the Cattle Farmers Association of America? A journalist asked me that this morning when she was interviewing me about the food pyramid. And I was like, dude,
You can roll it back, you can probably see them.
they have no money. Don't you think if they did, they would have commandeered the food pyramid in the first place? The reason the friggin' thing was 100 pages long is because it was filled with pseudoscience to demonize protein, saturated fat, and the reality of
Idiot behind on my left is coming up on me with their brights on.
Bottom line is,
might be the same person.
Some people's cholesterol, not most. Irregardless of that fact, it is limited with regard to the new food pyramid. So if you don't overconsume, you're perfectly safe either way. You don't even need to engage in that debate.
No,
it only recommends 200 calories to begin with.
Right. Here's RFK yesterday. He says, eat real food. I'm 52.
Protein and healthy fats are essential and were wrongly discouraged in prior dietary guidelines. We are ending the war on saturated fats. Diets rich in vegetables and fruits reduce disease risk more effectively than many drugs. Whole grains outperform refined carbohydrates. Added sugars, especially sugar-sweetened beverages, drive metabolic disease. And today,
I'm only 28 minutes from my destination, so
highly processed foods.
I'm gonna make sure I do a raid on somebody though. Let me try to figure out who to do it to. But
Services. My message is clear: eat real food.
Eat real food. Can I elaborate a bit on what he just said? So another reason that saturated fat has been demonized throughout the years is because they wanted to sell you seed oils. And of course, you've had your PhDs in nutrition science come out that we don't really know that these things are bad for you. If in the documentary we show you how these are processed.
South Baldwin.
Hexane,
never even heard of that fucking
bleaching
area.
clays, ultra pasteurization, which creates trans fats. It's not necessarily the seed oil. It's the ways in which they process it that are irrefutably horrible for your health. But think about it. Seed oils. Again, Corn Refining Association of America, Soybean Growers Association of America. It's all about money. It was never about your health.
So beef tallow?
Listen, ideal world, olive oil. Right? So if you have a continuum of fats, it's going to be a polyunsaturated, monounsaturated, and then we can get into saturated, but the absolute worst thing are going to be trans fats, fractionated oils that you're getting from these processed seed oils. Beef tallow is fine. Is olive oil better? Yeah, kind of irrefutably.
You mean it tastes better or is better?
Better for your health.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, but beef tallow,
you cook hotter.
A cold calorie diet is perfectly fine.
Right. He's big into that.
He is big into that. I personally would suggest leaning heavy into the olive oil conversation.
Or avocado.
Vast amount of data to suggest it's like bad for no one, great for everyone, and it does recommend that. They talk about nuts and seeds and omega-3 fish oils and avocado oil and olive oil, and that's wonderful. The goal is
One thing about olive oil is you can't cook very hot with it.
in order to sell you processed
Beef tallow, you can cook up to 400 degrees with it.
The special is called Toxic America's Food Crisis. Here, Jillian talks to Callie Means, Cut 56.
The administration released a report.
Avocado, you can do high smoke too.
Can you tell me what they are?
The pillars of chronic disease that we're talking about are environmental exposures, food, sedentary lifestyle, and chronic stress / sleep. I mean, these are super positive, basic things, and we're being called misinformation.
Yeah, driving down the road with this signal on.
Talking about why 95% of our medical budget goes to pills and medical procedures to manage sickness, and why we're not thinking with that $5 trillion we spend per year on medicine, can we actually lower chronic stress? Can we actually encourage more movement? Can we encourage more whole food? And can we really understand the cumulative exposure risks from all of these chemicals in our environment?
So, you like the 4 pillars?
I mean, the 4 pillars are obvious. I would have you note that he mentioned sleep. In there, yes, guys, Brian conceded to me behind the scenes that he only sleeps like 4.5 hours, so I was yelling at him just a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, well, okay, but it's obvious. It's chemicals in your environment, duh. It's sitting too much, right? No kidding. It's the consumption of ultra-processed garbage that actually isn't food. Of course, not getting enough sleep and being overly stressed. Like, it's everything you already know. What you don't know is the ways in which the system is rigged against you. That's what we're exposing in this documentary. And subsequently, what you can do on your own accord, of your own agency, to take control.
And also check out Jillian's podcast. She's the host of the Keeping It Real podcast. We can find that everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And of course, you got the special now, America's Food Crisis. Jillian, I'm glad I brought you through. I'm glad we're on your hit list, because I know you come through. You come in through Insurgents, so we appreciate it. And then finally listening to Jillian Michaels.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And the federal government, which means all of you got to pay attention. Back in a moment.
Coming to you on a need-to-know basis, because, man, you need to know.
Ooh, fucking dark, so really, these days are getting longer.
Exactly what you need to hear right now.
It's Smartless with Will, Jason, and Sean.
Incredible. Can't wait to meet you on the carpet.
As we celebrate the biggest dates in podcasting before they hit the red carpet, just search podcasts in the Sirius XM app. I'm Joel Clark, a Selectquote agent, with the true story of how Selectquote goes to bat for you. My term life insurance. A while back, a man called me who had prostate cancer. He asked if I could beat a very high rate he got from another agent. I got to work and found him a trusted carrier that offered $500,000 in coverage for $36 a month, which is way less than what he had been quoted elsewhere. When it comes to term life insurance, no company can match Selectquote's expertise in finding you the right policy at the right price.
For your free quote and to find out how much you can save, call 1-800-330-1122. That's 1-800-330-1122. 1-800-330-1122. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials. Your premium will vary depending on your health condition, company, and factors. Not in all states.
You can argue opinions all day long, but you can't argue results. Greetings, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Wagner, founder of Upgrades. And for years, the big pet food companies have told you that their kibble has everything your dog needs. But here's the truth. That bag of food is cooked at such high temperatures, it's dead food. And when you feed dead food day in and day out, the fallout is itchy skin, achy joints, no energy, and endless trips to the vet. When you add Upgrades, you get the live vitamins, probiotics, enzymes, omega oils, and antioxidants that your dog needs. It's not marketing hype. That's real results. Seeing your dogs are running around like puppies, skin problems, finally finding relief. And even the pickiest eaters are licking their bowl clean. That's proof the industry can't deny. I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to see it for yourself. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag. You just cover the shipping. Go to duckbreeds.com. Use discount code PROOF. That's RUFF Breeds. Discount code PROOF.
Are you romantically in love with your cell phone carrier? Or would you? I've never heard anyone say that they love paying over $1,000 a year for cell service. Chuck McDowell here to save you money and find true love with Red Pocket Mobile. Forget everything you think you know about cell carriers. Red Pocket Mobile has reinvented cell phone service with better coverage, better rates, and better service. With premium 5G plans starting at just $10 a month, you're guaranteed the best combination of service and pricing, period. Plus, Red Pocket gives you not one, but all three major 5G networks to choose from for the best coverage ever. And you get to keep your phone and number. Now that's something to fall in love with. Red Pocket Mobile.
I had a bite to eat at where I was at before I left. I had what they call a piggy platter. Some barbecue pork belly, some chicken rolls. Basically, homemade pork rinds.
Conservative principles live here. The Lookout Majority weekdays from noon to 3 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM Patriot Channel 125. Radio that makes you think. This is the Brian Kilmeade Show.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. There's so much going on. I know everyone's talking about the shooting, but the bigger story yesterday, I want to get to the bottom of the 37-year-old that got shot while driving away from police, which ICE agents. It's not okay to say, I like cops, but I don't like ICE agents. It's the same thing. Oh, I like local cops. I just don't like the state police. Oh, I don't like the National Guard, but I like the cops in my neighborhood or the sheriff's office. No. If you understand what law enforcement does, each has different specialties, or just get off the train.
Cracklins, yeah. Cracklins, chicken rolls.
This happening in Minnesota. Republicans, and even if it comes to their states, make fraud the focus. Not only does
Cracklins, I always think of Cracklins as the really hard ones.
Responsible spending.
Really, like almost like corn nut type. They're so hard. These were fresh. I mean, they were still actually warm for me. Being cooked right there. And the pork belly was delicious. Lots of fat on them.
It helps the country. It's the most patriotic thing you can do. Getting a fiscal house in order.
I make pork belly too, though. I gotta say, I think it's pretty good. A little bit of sun behind those clouds in front of us there. Still. Left. Alien or something. Yeah, just hard on your teeth. As long as you don't have any dental issues going on, I love them. I've broken, knocked out fillings, chipped teeth with them.
Protect yourself online with NordVPN. TechRadar named it the #1 VPN in 2025. A single NordVPN account secures up to 10 devices. What else? This cybersecurity tool also encrypts your browsing. NordVPN's threat protection pro feature helps you block malware,
avoid phishing and stop digital trackers. NordVPN scans the dark web.
Oh yeah.
The information associated with your email address is not exposed. Just a few clicks and you're safer online. Browse with more peace of mind. Get the best deal at NordVPN.
I'm just talking about some of those high clouds to the left. Still got some light on them.
Service members, your transition starts here. Go from TI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle, while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu.
Yeah, I get them from time to time. I don't have the best mouse. I like to get them all pulled and get implants. That shit's expensive. We're talking about, for good high quality ones, about 30 grand for the whole set.
The strikes took place around 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and were part of Operation Hawkeye strike ordered by President Trump in response to an ISIS ambush near Palmyra on December the 13th that killed 2 U.S. soldiers and a civilian interpreter, U.S. officials said. Rulers in Tehran are now threatening to execute protesters who call for the overthrow of the government, accusing them of committing a crime against God. Demonstrations have included cries in support of the Shah, something that could bring a death sentence in the past, but now underlines the anger fueling the protests that began over Iran's ailing economy. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio posted that the U.S. supports the brave people of Iran. Separately, the State Department posted a warning to Iran, saying, quote, "Do not play games with President Trump. When he says he'll do something, he means it." I'm Lisa Dwyer. President Trump has threatened to intervene in the event Iran harms peaceful demonstrators. Public policy expert Matthew Continetti has some advice on how to help the people of Iran.
I think the most important thing we could do right now is work to restore internet connectivity to the Iranian people and to allow the Iranian people who are rebelling against their government, this tyranny that's ruled them since 1979, to connect with one another and with the outside world so we can get some explanation of what's happening.
President Trump says he wants a 1-year 10% cap on credit card interest rates. It's an idea that revives a campaign pledge and could save Americans tens of billions of dollars. But it's drawing immediate opposition from an industry that's been in his corner. The president wasn't clear. More on these stories at townhall.com.
With financial charisma offer.
Ask yourself this question: is it really worth holding on to that time?
It would be nice if they put a 10% cap on credit cards.
The average maintenance fee just went up over.
Fucking all loans. No loan should have more than 10% interest rate.
When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check.
We fought a war over fucking 4% tax. Now we're paying fucking ridiculous amounts. I think your rate should go down steadily as long as you're paying on time. It's so weird, those clouds.
That's 800-682-3311. 800-682-3311. Syria's defense ministry announced a ceasefire Friday after 3 days of clashes between government forces and Kurdish fighters in the northern city of Aleppo that displaced over 140,000 people, but fighting resumed in the evening. According to Syrian media, the army has made some arrests, as well as seized weapons, ammunition, and explosives during the operation. The power struggle has led to 4 days of clashes in Aleppo. Tens of thousands of residents have fled the Sheikh Maksud and Ashrafia neighborhoods, which the Syrian army shelled on Wednesday after designating them as closed military areas. Further strikes have been reported in recent days. President Trump says American intervention in Venezuela will earn billions of dollars of investment in the country's infrastructure, a revival of its once thriving oil industry, and a new age of prosperity for the Latin American country. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com.
I just don't. The Mark Levin Show. Because if somebody tries to hurt me or even more, my wife or another family member, I'm not surrendering. If I manage to protect myself or family member, I'll lose everything. Because the system is not a just system. It's a system about equity, which means I can't win. Even if I'm the good guy, even if it's self-defense. Weekday starting at 6 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM.
Yeah, they're super low.
145.
Do you own a 2005 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire or no warranty coverage at all? With the cost of living on the rise,
Pointing north in a
now
minute,
offering a
though.
low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save you thousands off costly vehicle repairs. Get your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage are included. For your free quote, call 800-290-1583. 800-290-1583. Our mission is
Yeah, I think interest rates should go down depending on how well you're paying your loan. Reevaluate it every couple of months to go down another partial percentage rate as long as you're paying on time. Go down to as low as 2%. They're still making money. If you're late all the time, you'll pay more.
Super hard, obviously. Family, but my dad had life insurance.
At least they're getting something. And rather than if someone just files bankruptcy, then they don't pay them shit.
Because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test. Just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/Slater.
The best of Sean Hannity is on now.
Well, 10%. I don't think you should be paying any taxes, but yeah, for an income, definitely should not be almost half your check.
There were multiple substantial federal interests in proceeding with prosecuting Mr. Trump after he attempted to criminally overturn the 2020 election.
Demanding that the wealthy and large corporations start paying their fair share of taxes. It's not radical. It is exactly the right thing to do.
I was elected as a Democratic Socialist, and I will govern as a Democratic Socialist. Freedom is back in style. Welcome to the revolution.
Who's live? Who's a good site to send everybody to? Let me take a look.
Power to Sean Hannity Show, 800-941-SEAN, if you want to be a part of the program. There's so much that took place, and I don't care if it's what happened with the president taking out the Iranian nuclear sites or this operation that took place in Venezuela. New York Times reporting that CIA had sources inside Maduro's government helping. They were able to actually build a house prior to this invasion. The Delta Force, this elite unit involved in the 2003 capture of Saddam Hussein, as well as counterterrorism missions following the 9/11 attacks. Inside what it is that the U.S. Army unit did to capture Maduro. Seeing that a Chinook helicopter was the pilot was shot, landed the helicopter, air cover, was able to get the bird back in the air, get it back to safety, and thank God nobody was killed, no equipment was lost. That aspect of this does not get the credit that it deserves. They go to the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, explaining why the U.S. is taking over the Venezuelan oil industry and why regime change is different in Venezuela than other countries. He was on Meet the Press this weekend.
The question is, I guess, if the purpose of the operation was to capture Maduro and bring him to justice, why does the United States need to take over the Venezuelan?
I'm good. I'll set. I found a channel. I'm gonna try. Let's see if it works.
What we're not going to allow is for the oil industry in Venezuela to be controlled by adversaries in the United States. You have to understand, why does China need their oil? Why does Russia need their oil? Why does Iran need their oil? They're not even in this continent. This is the Western Hemisphere. This is where we live. And we're not going to allow the Western Hemisphere to be a base of operation for adversaries, competitors, and rivals of the United States. We also want to see that oil and the proceeds from it. Hold on. We want to see the oil proceeds of that country benefit the people of Venezuela. Why have 8 million people left Venezuela? 8 million, the single largest mass migration probably in modern history, left Venezuela in 2014 because all the wealth of that country was stolen to the benefit of Maduro and his cronies on the regime, but not to the benefit of people of Venezuela. You know how destabilizing 8 million migrants is? We've got this phobia built up and this sort of thing that's it's like, you know,
I found one.
Experts that people have on television. I watch these experts, and it's clown network. Okay, these are people that are focused their entire career in the Middle East or some other part of the world, because that's where all the action was. They, very few of them know anything
Wait till I
about
get stopped.
the Western Hemisphere. Venezuela looks nothing like Libya. It looks nothing like Iraq. It looks nothing like Afghanistan. It looks nothing like the Middle East, other than the Iranian agents that are running through their plotting against America. These are Western countries with long traditions among the people of cultural level and ties to the United States. So there's nothing like that. So I think people need to stop ascribing apples and oranges here, the apples of the Middle East to the oranges of the Western Hemisphere. Number two, this is about the national interest of the United States. And what I'm confident of is we are in a safer and better place because we're taking it seriously. The alternative would have been to leave Maduro there as an indicted drug trafficker, illegitimate president, running the country, open invitation for all of our adversaries to do whatever they want against the United States from Venezuela. That was not going to continue. Well, the alternative would have been to allow a drug trafficker to continue to use national territory and elements of nation state power to further drug trafficking organizations. Read the indictment. This guy used the levers of their security apparatus not to arrest drug traffickers, but to cooperate and facilitate the trafficking of drugs for the purpose of getting them into the United States. And that's going to stop. I mean, it's so entertaining to watch Marco just tear these people up on these Sunday shows. Joining us now, Vice Admiral Robert Harwood of the U.S. Navy, and also
The Bills
is the General
maybe.
and Admiral's Program participant.
We'll be doing a lot of work from home tomorrow, and hopefully get out and do some door dashing. Football is always a good time to do some door dashing. I'll at least have it playing in the background if I'm dashing. Yeah. Well, there's a wild card game tonight.
In Tehran and around the country.
Chicago and Green Bay.
Themselves, regime change in Iran, as they are now perhaps even on the brink themselves. Certainly, Cuba is going to be impacted by the actions that the president took in Venezuela, and I could see that regime toppling of its own weight and corruption as well. Anyway, Vice Admiral, great to have you.
All right, let me get this raid set up.
Provided by Secretary Rubio is so succinct, precise, and makes it very clear why this is so important, not just for the United States, but for Venezuela and the people of Venezuela.
See if these guys are still live.
If you even want to take a step.
Yeah, it is good.
Good to see you, brother. Haven't seen you, man. Happy New Year. Yeah, B-Money said he wishes several of his buddies got 1,500, man. That's dope, guys. Yeah. That's dope, man.
Should have been on last night, Eric.
I was on early in the evening. I mean,
all right.
Then I went on to.
We're going over to the Big Red One Guy, Salty Dog Show.
And I didn't get to see that happen.
When you see it pop up, click join. Say hi in chat. Tell them I sent you.
Who wants to guess how much I've made so far in January?
I think it's just you, Eggsy, but that's fine.
Right, we're on January the 10th, and bearing in mind what's happened. January the 10th.
See you guys. Have a great night. Let them know I sent you when you pop over there. You can click join anytime or just ride the wave when we head over there. Peace.
Shit. It could have been 10-5. Yeah, that would be. We can rate it. Yeah, inDOCtriNation.